This touching story takes place in the Philippines. While Patricia Capellan and her partner were dining on a typical Manila fast food meal, they realized an extraordinary event that would leave them deeply moved. Patricia was a public relations major born in the Philippines, raised in the US, specifically in the city of Los Angeles, where her parents moved for work when she was only a few months old and where she lived until she was 30 years old. However, despite the distance and having her life made in the US, for Capellan, her country of origin was always very present, returning to Manila for vacations or to visit relatives quite regularly. And it was precisely on one of her trips to the Philippine capital during a vacation with her fiancé when she was lucky enough to witness something that would leave her speechless. Patricia and her fiancé Ethan had the habit of visiting the most famous restaurants in each city to try their food and leave their opinion on the internet. Both were in public relations for big brands in various sectors, including the restaurant industry, so they were used to analyzing every place they visit and every plate of food they were lucky enough to taste. What neither of them knew when they arrived at the restaurant, one of the most famous and popular in the city, and ordered their food, is that at the end of their night, neither of them would write about the quality of the food or the service, but about something much more important. As we were saying, the couple had come to the restaurant to enjoy a nice dinner. However, when they were waiting for the desserts to arrive, Capellan saw something that would suddenly take away her hunger. At one of the tables on the restaurant's outdoor terrace, there were 3 homeless youngsters barefoot. Seeing them, Patricia felt very sad for the children and motioned for her partner to turn around and look out the window. "Look, Ethan, they look hungry and they're not even wearing shoes. Breaks my heart to see things like that," commented Capellan to her fiancé as she gazed at the 3 youngsters pitifully through the glass. "For God's sake, I find it pitiful that there are still families like this. The government does nothing to help its people and those poor children are the only victims. It's heartbreaking," he said to Capellan, lamenting the sad event they were witnessing. Patricia spent several minutes in silence staring out the window. For some strange reason, the woman couldn't take her eyes off those children who seemed to be all alone in the world, and probably they were. The 3 boys were clearly natives, and none of the 3 looked to be more than 12. Their faces were dirty, as were their clothes, which were full of stains and holes. They were all 3 sitting, looking at each other silently and seriously. Looking at them was really distressing, but it seemed that no one else had noticed their presence, and the rest of the diners in the restaurant that night continued eating and laughing as if nothing had happened. "I think we should do something. I can't just stand here and watch those 3 kids go hungry while I eat chocolate ice cream. I feel like a hypocrite, honey. Please understand," exclaimed Capellan, very upset by the situation and making a gesture of wanting to get up to approach the children and help them. "Of course, we can ask them for some food and ask if they need anything else. I don't know, some clothes or basic personal hygiene utensils. Come on, I'll go with you," Ethan suggested, very determined to support his fiancée in her noble task. However, before either of them could get up from the table, a man appeared who would put an end to all their worries and do precisely what no one else seemed to dare to do. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. The couple first saw a man in military fatigues buying a large amount of food to put on their table. Capellan had been watching him for some time and found it strange that a man sitting alone at the table would order so much food. But he was more concerned about the children and decided not to give him any more importance. However, what that mysterious man would do right after placing his order would solve all her doubts. The man got up from the table and called out to the children on the street, politely inviting them to join him at one of the tables inside the restaurant so they could dine together. At first, the children distrusted the man and didn't move, but the man wasn't willing to give up, and after a few minutes of uncomfortable silence, he approached them again and asked them to accompany him again to the restaurant. "Please, I don't want to hurt you. I'm a father of a family. I have 4 kids. And when I see you sitting there without shoes and without food, my heart breaks. I just want you to eat and enjoy a good dinner. You gotta be hungry," he told the children, smiling at them and showing great kindness. Apparently, the man's words came into effect because a moment after talking to them again, the 3 children got up and followed him to the inside of the restaurant. Capellan and her fiancé watched the whole scene stunned. Once inside, the children sat at the table full of food next to the man who had invited them. However, despite the hunger they had and how badly they must have been going through it, none of the 3 children dared touch the food. They looked at it as a child who just found a secret treasure and was afraid of being discovered. "It's all for you, come on, eat. Don't be ashamed, I bought everything for you, please don't reject my help," the man begged the children once again. The children started to eat except for one, the one who seemed to be older and was wearing an old green t-shirt. So the man asked him why he didn't want to eat. The child's response was heartbreaking. He replied that he wanted to bring the food back to his mother so his mother could also enjoy some. "Could you save this burger with fries for me to take to my mother? She's also hungry and hasn't eaten anything for many days. She never tells us because she doesn't want to worry us, but I know. I couldn't accept this delicious food without sharing it," said the boy, very shy and barely looking up from his plate of food. Hearing the boy's question, the kind man went to order another hamburger for the boy to enjoy, and he could save the other one for his mother. You're good kids, you really are. I'm so sorry you're having such a hard time and that your family's going hungry. I know that inviting you to dinner won't change anything and that after tonight everything will stay the same, but I couldn't leave without offering you my help and letting you know that you're not alone. It's not your fault that it's happening to you, nor your parents. I think it's important for you to know that, the man said, while he shared dinner with the children. We know that, sir, but you know what? What you've done for my family today is a real game changer. We've never been invited to a place like this for dinner before. If we were lucky, we'd get leftovers from a table or scavenge through the garbage to get some food for us and our mother. What you've done today is an incredible act of generosity that we'll never forget. It doesn't matter if we get hungry again tomorrow, tonight will always be special for us, confessed the eldest of the brothers, very excited as he took a bite of his burger. Kaplan, who heard the whole thing from her desk, couldn't stop crying at such a touching scene. The woman decided to film the man's philanthropic act to post on Facebook when she got home. It's amazing, don't you think? I think everyone should know this story. It's not something you see every day, and much less in a place like Manila. Poverty's normalized here and no one's making an effort to eradicate it, but that man's proved how wrong we are. Patricia told her partner, wiping away her tears and making sure she'd saved the video on her cell phone. When she got home that night, Kaplan posted the video with a touching scene and accompanied it with a nice text, explaining everything that happened and how that made her feel. This video's proof that generosity and kindness still exist. These 3 children were barefoot and starving in front of a crowded restaurant and no one was helping them. I thought about doing it myself and felt bad that I was eating burgers while they were just sitting there on the floor, but this generous man showed up and changed everything. His act of charities restored my faith in people and our ability to help those who need it most. We should all take a cue from this man. God bless him and his family, he deserves all the best, concluded Patricia. The post went viral in a matter of hours and now everyone is talking about the man dressed in military fatigues who invited 3 barefoot children living on the street to dinner. Since then, Kaplan's post had not stopped receiving positive comments praising the man's generosity and thanking him for trying to take care of these poor children. God bless that man. I wish everyone was as generous as him. The world would be a kinder place and we wouldn't have to see videos like this. Those children don't deserve to go hungry and walk the streets barefoot. It's a real shame, comments a user. This video has touched me deeply. I'm on my way home from work and seeing those kids eating right next to that wonderful man brought tears to my eyes. Thank you for sharing, commented another. Breaks my heart to see those children barefoot and starving. Thank goodness there's still goodness in the world. Beautiful video, said another. Kaplan was very happy that the act of generosity of this man, whose name she'd never know, could be seen by so many people and get the recognition it deserved. Although she was well aware these children would continue to live in absolute poverty, and that night was for them a beautiful mirage that would never be repeated. After that day, Kaplan knew that she would probably never meet those children again, nor the man who helped them, but she knew that night would live forever in her memory and in her heart, reminding herself that the most valuable thing we have is what we allow ourselves to give to others. This beautiful story should serve as an example to remind us that helping others within our means is always better than doing nothing and ignoring that there are problems. This is the only way to make things better. Did you like this touching and surprising story? If so, we invite you to leave us a comment expressing your opinion. If you want to continue enjoying inspiring stories like this one, subscribe to our channel or check out the other videos shown at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your cooperation.